Hello. Today's topic is functions in Python. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel, click on bell button, share and comment your doubts and like this video. What is a function? Function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. A set of instructions is a program. A set of instruction is a program. But what is this function? Function, that means a complex program. A complex program we are going to be dividing into small pieces to solve that easily. And also you can rebug. That means you can bug it. You can rectify the errors. So that is very easy if our code is small. So that's why we will make our problem into small problems. We will break such that and we can solve that easily. So here, functions. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. A function is declared and we'll define that, and it is not going to be executed at that time. Whenever you will call that function, it is going to be executes. That means we will write our program. That means a function. Then we will call whenever we require that function. At that location, that function is going to be calling. And you can pass data also that are known as parameters. That means you can pass data through this functions. That is known as parameters. Parameters into a function. Into a functions. A function can return data as a result. Then a function, whenever you are calling that function can returns a data as a result. Okay, so what is the use of this function? This function is reusability. Reusability. That means any number of times you can call this function. So we can use again and again. Reusability is there. Instead of writing the same code again and again in our application, it will take time as well as to compile also. That means to interpret also it will take time. When bugs will be there, that means any errors, it will be very difficult to check also. So we can use the functions to make easy debugging. Easy debugging and reusability. So here the syntax for a function, first we need to declare the function. That is function declaration. Once the function has been declared, you can call the function. That means here you are going to be declaring, you are defining everything you are doing. Then once it has been completed, you need to call this. Then only it is going to be declaring or defining. Anything you can do here. Definition is nothing but a defining. So here the rules to create a function. Rules to create a function. Every function should start with a keyword. Every function start with a keyword called def with the keyword of this. This is a keyword. Every function should start with this keyword only, that is def. And every function should have a name. Every function should have a name. Okay. And here you need to remember that it should not equal to our keywords, any of our keywords. Already we have seen in previous videos what are the keywords. So those keywords we should not use as a name of the function. And the next is we can pass the parameters, that is arguments. That's the option that we can write within a parenthesis. Okay, this is options. Parameters, this is options, that is our wish, optional. But this parameters you need to include in between the parentheses. In between the parentheses. Every function name with or without argument should be ended with colon. Like our control statements will be there, no? We are going to be ending with a colon, like that. Every function name with or without arguments or parameters should end with colon. And it's you can, that means I told you that function can return a data as a result. So it can be written empty or value or multiple values. You can return value. This can be, it can be a empty value or a multiple values also you can return in terms. Multiple values also you can return it. So this is the rules, or these are the, I mean, to remember the points whenever you are going to be using, or whenever you are declaring, whenever you are creating a function. So for example, def, the name of the function, this is small letter d, and here the name of the function, it can be anything. So here I am writing display without parameters. I am writing, so it should be colon, it should be end here after parentheses, the parenthesis. It is not parameter. Parameters is optional and it should be included in a parameters. And here the function name should, with or without arguments, it should be ended with colon. Then after this, you can write the executable statements here. That is statements, any number of statements. Now this is the definition of a function. Once it has been completed, to execute this statement, we need to call. How to call this? With the name of the function we need to call. So here I am calling the function. So let me see one example on this. So here a function. So using the def keyword, so display, and here I'm going to print, this is a function definition. So here I have created. Now I want to display. I want to call this. I want to execute this function. So now, so how many times you are going to calling, that many times that function is going to be executes. That means here only one time I have called, so one time it has displayed. Again I am calling this function, so again it is going to be executed. So wherever you want, you can call with the name of this. Instead of this, you can write a is equal to 8, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to a plus b. And here I'm going to print this c. Let me execute. See, one time it has called, second time it is calling. Again I'm calling this. So it is going to be calling again. So you can see here, 3 times I have called. So any number of times you can call. So let me check with the arguments. So here def add a comma b, and colon, here sum is equal to a plus b, and here I am returning this sum. I am returning. So I want to call this. Before calling, I need to pass this value. So whenever I am going to call this, here I am returning. So this value should store in some variable. So I have taken result is equal to, here I am passing the arguments. These are the parameters where the actual variables you are declaring, those called parameters. Here I am passing the values. So these are the arguments we should say. So then print here result. Let me check here. See 9. So here instead of this, you can use, in a previous program we have seen that using the input function you can take the values while executing. So this is a function example. Here these are the argument we are passing. So these arguments, there are different types of arguments. In different types you can pass. So here how many types of arguments are there? So types of arguments. So first one is required argument. Second one is keyword arguments. Third one is default arguments. Fourth one is variable arguments. So these are the 4 types of arguments in Python we can use. So the first one is required arguments. Required arguments. Required arguments here, in this required arguments, the number of arguments should be same in both function calling as well as the function defining. That means number of arguments or parameters, you can say parameters should be, the number of arguments should be same in both function call and function define. That means the position, that the order should be followed. For example, here define sum, and here I am passing a comma b, and colon print a comma b. So here I am going to calling this. So here I am add, I am calling with the pair arguments 2 and 3. So that means here it is going to be taking a value as 2 and b value as 3. So here a value is 2, b value is 3. The order is going to be following. The first argument with the first parameter, second argument with the second parameters. Like that. The order must be following. So let me check here. Here, define sum or this, I'll write this a comma b. And here I'm printing a comma, okay, here a comma a, print b, here b. So here I'm calling this 4 comma 2. Now see, a value is 4, b value is 3. So the order, whichever order you have declared, that order only it is going to be taking. The order is not going to be changing. The position should be the same. So here one point we need to add here, position or order should be followed. This is the first required arguments. Now second one is keyword this is second keyword arguments. Keyword arguments are here order, that is position is not required. Position or order is not required. That is initially whatever you have seen the previous one. Here in the required arguments, the values must be same order it is accepting. Here initialization is going to be will be done based on keywords or names. Okay, so here the same example I'm going to take this or add anything. So here a comma b I am taking, and here I'm going to print a comma b. Okay, so here I'm going to call this, so add. Here I need to pass a is equal to 3 comma b is equal to 10 you can give, or otherwise you can give a is equal to 10, b is equal to 3. The order is not preserved, or it is not going to be following. Let me check the example. Here the same thing I have taken. So here b is equal to 4 I am writing, and a is equal to 2 I am taking. Now see, the order is not in the same way where the definition a and b I have defined, but while calling the order I have changed. So this is called keyword arguments. Now the next one is default arguments. Here the default arguments. default arguments. Default arguments means the number of arguments not be matched. So here number of arguments, the number of arguments not be matched with the function. Suppose the same of argument will be considered as the default argument also. That is how we have done in previous example, like that only. Only the syntax is here def add the function name it can be. So here you can take two arguments. So here I'm going to take a name and course is equal to, I'll write some full stack. Full stack. And here I'm printing this only, name and print course. So when I'm calling this, it is not necessary to pass the, so here I'm passing Priya, even though it is going to be executes. Again I'm calling, here I'm passing Priya and course is equal to mtech. So the same thing, it is going to be displayed. Let me check with the example. So here define display name course is equal to, I'll write here full stack and print name comma course. And here I'm displaying name is equal to Priya and course is equal to, I'll write mtech. Priya mtech has been displaying. Now again I am calling the same function, that is name is equal to Aparanjini, and I'm not calling the course. Now let me see. So Aparanjini full stack has been displayed. So here the number of arguments here I have declared 2, but here I am passing only 1. So these are called default arguments. Now the fourth one is variable argument, or we can say that variable length arguments. So here it is a arbitrary number of arguments. It is a arbitrary number of arguments. That means here by placing star symbol as a prefix, that means before the variable we need to write a star to the arguments of a function. of function definition. So here, let me check here, define, display, and here I am writing course. And here, this is arbitrary numbers, that is number of values. This course, it will take the number of values. That means more than one value it accepts. So when it is going to be taking more than one value, we need to use for loop. For in courses colon, here also colon, sorry, colon print I. And I'm calling this. So here I can pass the values, that is full stack, Angular, React, and JavaScript. So here I have taken 4 values, 1, 2, 3, 4 values. So then also it is going to be displaying. Let me check here. Def display and star course colon if, not if, for I in course colon print this I value. Now I am calling this function display full stack comma Angular comma React comma JavaScript. Now all has been displayed. Let me call again here display Priya, Sam, Jyoti, Ramesh, Santosh. So any number of arguments you can pass. So this function is variable length argument. So here you can send any number of arguments here. So I hope you understood the concept. I'll give one more example. Instead of one, we can take 2 arguments also, like this. Define, write down here some name, person, name I am writing, and here I will take some other variable. It can be anything. So some data I have taken, and I'm going to print here, print name and print data. So here I'm calling the function, here name it is going to be taking Aparanjini, and data it is prefixed with a star, so multiple values it will take. So here I am taking 12 and Hyderabad comma here full stack and 30 classes, something like that. So let me display here. See, name has displayed and data it is a multiple values it has been taken. Otherwise this you can use the for loop also, it is going to be displaying one after the other. So here whenever you are taking a single star, it is going to be accepting the values like this. But if you want to write the key values, these are the values. Suppose you want to add the key values also. So for that you can write in a similar way, person name comma star star, that is 2 stars, you write down the prefix, then print name and data. Then here you call the function. So here I am writing simply, here I am writing Priya, comma, then here you can write roll number is equal to 21 and city is equal to, write down here Hyderabad, and then course is equal to Angular, backend is equal to Python. Okay, now see here. Here name has been displayed, and with the keywords it has been displayed key and value like a dictionary. So in both the ways you can do it. This is about the functions. Then come to the next topic, that is recursion function. Recursion function. In Python, this recursion also accepts. Recursive function accepts. So, which means that a function is calling itself. Recursion is nothing but a function can call itself. Function calls itself is known as recursion. So the syntax for this is base class or base case. Here, this is the terminating from the recursion. Then recursive case. This is keep on calling itself. This is the syntax. So recursion function is calling itself. The syntax, 2 categories will be there. One is base case, the other one is recursion case. Base case means terminating from the recursion, and recursive cases keep on calling that function. For example, define some function name, and here I'm calling one, or I'm passing one parameters, and here I'm doing to calculate factorial. If a is equal to 0 or a is equal to 1, then it should return 1. Else it should do the n into ff n minus 1. This is going to be recursive. So from here to here, this return part, that is true part, is a base case. From else to this return, it will take the recursive case. Whenever you are calling the function, we need to pass the n value. Here, n is going to be passing, but here it is return. So this value you need to store in the result. So then you can print here this result. So let me check the recursion function here. Recursion function. So here def fact n colon if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1. So these two I will write in brackets. So here it is going to be like this. And here I am returning this as 1. Then else part I will do here return n into fact n minus 1. That means here I am calling the function here. N minus 1 means the value it will get the same thing, that is fact n, the same function it is going to be called. Now here let me call this fact 5. This value I will store in a result, and this value I am going to print here result. So let me check here 120. Yes. So here n is 5. 5 it will come here. N is equal to 0. No. N is equal to no. So it is not executes this. It will come in the else part. N is 5 into fact n minus 1. That is 5 minus 1, 4. 4 means this function again it calls. So here already here I'll write here already 5 will be there, and again I'm calling this function. So when this function is calling again n into fact n, that means 4 into fact. Fact means again the function is calling again, the same function is calling. So again it is 3 into n minus 1. N minus 1 again 3 minus 1 2, again that calls 2. 2 into again 1. When it is 1 it is going to be returning. So here it is going to be stop, and this it calculates, it stores in the result. So this is about your recursive function. Hope you understood recursive function also. We'll continue in the next session.